Good evening. Welcome to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, and I want to wish everyone in the audience a glorious and happy 2024. We're so excited to be back with you on Monday Night Live, and we have a really exciting show planned for you all. I want to invite everyone in the audience to get involved in tonight's show. If you're checking us out live, get into that comment section, interact with us, leave Coach Mike a relevant real estate question, and our super producer, Jay Joseph, may very well choose your question to be answered on tonight's show. I want to take some time right now to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he is an author, he's an entrepreneur, he is a trainer, he's a coach, but we know him as CEO Coach Mike. I want to thank him so much for sitting in with us, and I'd like to introduce to our audience tonight the CEO of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I'd like to introduce Mr. Michael G. Davis. How you doing?
Rick, what's up, man? It's 2024.
Yes, sir. Bring the energy. We're back, baby. We're back.
It's 2024, baby. Monday Night Live is back for the next season. I'm super excited to be here, man.
Yes, man. It's great to see you, Coach Mike, man. How has everything been with the family, man? How has 2024 been so far over at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm? And everyone in our audience is super excited about the 15-year anniversary event that's coming on. So what's been going on lately, Coach Mike? What would you like to share with the Monday Night Live audience, sir?
Hey, man, this is the year, baby. We 8 days into 2024, man. You know, we started planning, we started getting ready the last quarter of 2023. We knew we wanted to have and launch some exciting things the first of the year. We didn't want to be one of those companies where you start planning in January and you don't really begin building momentum until February, March. But we wanted to come out running fast. And I can definitely say that's what we're doing, man. I mean, we've made a lot of modifications to our social media, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our Facebook, man. We've introduced something very special that I'm going to tell everybody about a little later that, you definitely want to become a part of. So, I mean, just what Brooks and Davis is doing and how we're expanding through this 2024 year, man. It's just I'm just super amped because I know the future is looking so bright for us. And like you said, man, 15 years, we're celebrating 15 years this year. Look, man, it's not many companies that can say that they've been around that long and had the level of imprint and impact. But we can, man, and we don't have no problem telling people about it. So, man, super excited, bro.
Hey, man, 15 years, like you said, that's quite an accomplishment, man. When you think back to when you first founded the brokerage, could you have imagined that 15 years later we'd be in the same spot, building, growing, and just opening up our arms to everyone in the community that wants to learn about real estate, that wants to be a practitioner, and that wants to give back to the community from that standpoint, man. So I'm really excited about the event. I'm really excited about 15 years in the brokerage, man.
Absolutely, man. To your question, what did we imagine? What did I see? And the reality, Rick, is that I knew we were going to be doing something big. I knew that, I knew who I was, and I knew the level of production that we could pull off. I didn't know specifically what it looks like, what it would look like, but being here and living it is, ever so impressed by not just what we've been able to do, but understanding the amount of people that it took, the amount of ideas, the amount of effort, the amount of participation, us coming together as a community and building something great and continuing to build to where it's going to be even greater, man. It's just an amazing experience, and I can't wait for the next 15 years.
The great thing about the new season of Monday Night Live is that I get an opportunity to sit down with you on Mondays, talk about what's going on in the real estate market, talk about some of the challenges that not only buyers and sellers may face, but also realtors and those real estate professionals out there in the field. So Coach Mike, man, for those who are checking us out on Monday Night Live for the first time, what can they expect as far as advice from you, Mr. CEO, Coach Mike?
So look, man, Rick, 20 years, brother, 20 years doing this. Hey, over 20 years of doing this, Rick. Obviously I have a knowledge base, right? I've created some relationships. There's resources and tools that I'm aware of. There are rooms that I can get into and expose people to. And it's solely not because I'm smarter than anybody, not because my pedigree is better than anybody else. It's just that sustainability in doing something for 20 years and taking it as seriously as I've taken it. There's just a lot of benefit and value that's come from that. So, obviously it's something that my Brooks and Davis agents get, but there still is opportunity where through Monday Night Live, I can deliver what I've gained over these last 20 years as a way to create bigger impact and legacy for those that are in what I feel is the best career for you to be in, which is real estate.
Man, I thank you so much for sharing that, Coach Mike, because I think sometimes it's really underreported as far as all of the steps that you've taken as a leader, all of the steps that we've taken as a brokerage to make sure that we're here to mentor, inspire, motivate, and educate not only the Brooks and Davis real estate family, but everyone out there in the real estate community at large. So I want to give a huge thank you to everybody who checks us out on a regular basis. You're back for another season. And for all those first timers, man, I hope you pull and take so much from this conversation, because I know you put so much into not only Monday Night Live, but all the other creative content that we educate at Brooks and Davis TV, Coach Mike. So without any further ado, man, let's get to some of the questions that's been submitted, man. So let's see what we got on deck for Coach Mike this week. Let's check out question number one.
Let's see, man.
Let's see. Coach Mike, is there a way around eminent domain? Oh, wow. Starting off with the heavy hitters, man. Heavy hitters on the new season.
Say, man, so here's the thing about eminent domain, man. Eminent domain is, that's an instrument, or that's a vehicle that municipalities, right? Governments, local municipalities, that they utilize. That's kind of like saying, man, is there a way around paying taxes? Like, nah, Blair. Like, is there a way around? Is there a way around, following the law? You can't, right? Eminent domain is a law, right? And it's a law that municipalities can utilize to acquire real estate. So just like with any law, though, you can challenge it, right? We as real estate professionals, we got to start off by saying, I'm not an attorney, right? Consult your attorney when it comes to something like that. But what I can say is, with any law, it's about the interpretation of it. So you can challenge it, but you better get you an attorney, somebody that's well versed as far as to challenge it. So to the question, is there a way around it? I mean, yes and no. It just depends on how effective you are with challenging whatever the legalities of how the municipality is utilizing eminent domain. Is how I would put it, Rick.
One of the things about that question, and I want to thank that member of our audience who submitted it, is the thing about eminent domain, like you said, Coach Mike, it's part of a legal entity. It's a legal thing. It's, like you said, akin to paying your property taxes.
Right.
But I want to share with those members of our audience that it is there to protect your rights as a homeowner as well. It gives you a firm definition of what you own, what you do not own, and what would happen in the event of certain circumstances, natural disasters, etc. So I would urge everyone who has questions about eminent domain, take a look at your purchase agreement, reach out to the title company where you settle. And I'm sure if you have some questions that are a bit more nuanced than what we're interpreting right now, reach out to those people, and I'm sure they could give you some more detailed information to make everything about eminent domain not seem as nebulous.
Yeah.
So that you can have an idea exactly what it is, what it speaks towards, and what it protects you from that standpoint and your rights as a homeowner.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's the thing, though, right? So when it comes to eminent domain, the point of it is to create something for the general well-being of everybody. Like that's the idea, and that's why municipalities have been given the power to be able to exercise eminent domain, because the idea is we're going to do this for the welfare of us all as a whole, right? To give an idea, or just to give a real life illustration, here in Houston, the plan is to widen 45, right? To widen 45. They want to offer some additional lanes, right? A lot of people understand that there are some traffic challenges when it comes to the city of Houston, as how we're growing as fast as we are. The population is growing, it's booming. So they want to widen 45. Well, to be able to do that, there are houses, there are businesses, there are people that are along the side of that freeway. Well, unfortunately, the city of Houston could utilize eminent domain to acquire those properties, and to acquire those properties in such a way, or the reason being, so the city could successfully do what the plan is, which is to widen the freeway to alleviate some of the pressure and the stress when it comes to traffic in the city, and as we grow. So what that means is that those businesses don't have a choice, right? They don't have an option. Now they could fight it, but man, that's like going to the coast of California and saying, I'm going to stop the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
Listen, man, sometimes you're going to experience situations and you can't stop it. The only thing you can do is surf it, right? The only thing that you can do is navigate it and guide it. So, for most people in their lifetime are not going to be faced with an issue when it comes to eminent domain. But there are some that I don't want to sell mine. I don't want to get rid of my property. But unfortunately, it's going to be a tough fight, because it's you're boxing. Your gloves may not be as big as what you're going up against.
And no, I ask everyone, Coach Mike, to heed your advice, to go to those legal professionals if they have deeper questions, because in all purchase agreement, they have language that speaks towards eminent domain. So I would always ask all those homeowners, review your purchase contracts, review your paperwork. And if you have any other questions, like Coach Mike mentioned earlier, we will refer you out to your legal counsel or who you would talk to when you have other legal questions. Because, of course, we can't give legal advice.
Of course we cannot.
Of course we can't, man. I thank you so much, Coach Mike, because things like eminent domain, I'm sure there's so many homeowners in the communities that have those questions. So I want to thank you so much for taking some time out to not only answer that question, but to also give people an idea where they can go to get some of their more specific questions answered. So
absolutely,
Coach. Let's take a look and see what we have as far as question number 2, man, because I'm really excited. We're in a new season, and I'm sure a lot of these questions people have had on their mind for a while now, man. So I want to see how we can help those in the audience, man, get those important questions answered. So let's check out question number 2 for Coach Mike.
Let's do it, man.
Coach Mike, how does a community land trust function, and what are the pros and cons of using a land trust?
Ooh, community land trust. Now, look, that's kind of like the buzz thing here lately.
Yes.
Right? And my personal opinion, matter of fact, I'm gonna give my first exposure to the community land trust concept, right? Or it's a vehicle, we'll call it that. And Rick, I almost lost my mind. The first time I read anything about it, I was on my way. I can't even remember where we were going, but me and my wife, we were driving somewhere, and it was a long drive. I think we were going to Oklahoma, man, but it was like maybe a 6-hour drive, right? And I had got the email, and I was kind of reading the flyer, and man, when you talk about, I was ranting and raving. I was like, I can't believe this. This is just another way where they're taking the wealth out of the Black community. I can't believe that they're doing this. The wealth is in the land. Like, I was just fussing, Rick. Okay? Until I had time to really process it. Right. And when I started processing it, it started making more and more and more sense to me when I began to compare it to how I really needed to compare it. All right.
Right.
So this is my best way to illustrate the community land trust. So Rick, typically you have somebody that's a buyer, right? They're buying a house, or you have somebody that's a renter, right? So that's typically the two things that we have. We have buyer, owner, we have renter, right? Okay. So what the community land trust is, the community land trust is like a hybrid. It's in between, right? I was fussing, Rick, because I was comparing it to owning home, like the totality of home ownership.
Right.
I was comparing it against that. And the reality is that it's not better than being a owner. It's not better than that. But once it began to really process, I realized if I compare it against being a renter and renting, it's definitely better. It's definitely a step up. All right. So this is how it works, Rick. With the community land trust, the land is owned inside of a trust. So this trust will go out and purchase this big plot of land, acres of land, right? Okay. Then what the trust is going to do, the trust is going to lease the land to an individual, and a house is going to be built on that piece of land. So that land trust is going to build these houses on this plot that they purchased. They're going to build these houses, and what they're doing is they're selling the dwelling to the individual, but they're leasing that individual is leasing the land. So the individual doesn't own the land. The only thing that they own is the dwelling. The only thing that they own is the building. Now, here's the reality, Rick, because what I first thought was, oh, but the wealth is in the land. The appreciation is in the land. Listen, when you look at your property tax statement, you notice that there's an appraisal amount for the land and there's an appraisal amount for the building.
Yes.
Your building will appreciate as well. Okay. The reason that the community land trust vehicle was created was to assist when it came to the massive appreciation or the what's the word I'm looking for? The uncontrollable appreciation in certain communities, right? Since the land trust owns the land and it's just going to be leased out, they can control how fast the land appreciates, thus controlling the affordability of an area. So that's what the community land trust is all about. It's about controlling the home ownership attainability for people.
I understand.
Houston right now, we're having a home ownership attainability problem. For the longest, Houston was considered one of the most affordable cities in the United States. Well, in reality right now, that's not the case. Okay. The median home right now in Houston is well over $400,000. And the salaries are not keeping up with that.
Exactly.
Okay. So the community land trust is something that facilitates it. Now, to the question of the pros and the cons. Well, the pro is it's going to allow you to get into some level of home ownership, right? Now, you don't own the land, you own the dwelling. It puts you in a position to where you can ultimately, at some point, when you're in a position where you make enough income, or where interest rates line up, or where prices line up, then now you can transition into owning the house and the land. You can sell that dwelling in the land trust, capture some appreciation, and that money can be used to go towards the purchase of the house and the land. So it puts you in the game. You can't do that with rent. Like, you pay your rent every month. Right. When it's time to go, it's time to go. Like, you don't realize any value from what you've done every month when you're leasing. Right. With the community land trust, you do realize some value. Now, is it as much as if you own the house outright? No, but it is more than if you were renting. That's the pro. The con is, all right, you don't own the land. You don't, right? It's not as good as owning everything outright. It's not. That's the reality of it. Right. You do lease the land, right? Here's another con. It's not just like going through the traditional methods of purchasing either. For the community land trust, it's something that you have to get approved for. Right. You got to, like down payment assistance, you got to go. It's a couple of extra steps that can make the process slightly more cumbersome. We know purchasing a property is already cumbersome. Well, utilizing something like community land trust or some other kind of down payment assistance vehicle can make it cumbersome, a little slightly more cumbersome as well. But this is what I was telling a young lady the other day when I was talking about it. When you get the opportunity to put yourself in a position to where you can begin to build wealth for you and your family, it becomes life-changing, right?
Yes.
Stop settling for continuing to be a renter and put your landlord's kids through school and enhance the quality of life for your landlord. Stop agreeing to continue to do that. There are things in this market like the land trust, like down payment assistance. There's a number of vehicles that are allowing individuals to get into an opportunity where they can begin to build wealth and they can begin to leave a legacy for their family. You got to start saying yes and stop saying no.
And look, I urge everyone in the audience, please heed that message, because what they're doing with the community land trust is allowing you to have a half measure. Instead of being denied access to home ownership, you're being provided an opportunity to invest in the dwelling. And then when you're financially at a position where you can invest in the land and the dwelling, this will put you in a great position, A, to be experienced with maintaining a property, the expenses that you incur maintaining your property, while at the same time getting you experience in watching the real estate market. And you'll be surprised, Coach Mike, you know this, but I want to urge everyone in the audience to get involved, is when you become a homeowner, you tend to pay more attention to interest rates, the financial markets, everything that would inspire you to continue to generate more wealth for your family. So like you said, Coach Mike, this is just the first step. Don't let apprehension or fear keep you from taking advantage of these opportunities, because those in the legislature, those that are the powers that be in the state of Texas, they understand what's going on as far as real estate value and property values. And these are some of the measures that they put in place to try to make home ownership attainable for everyone. So
absolutely,
let's get involved.
Because they recognize, Rick, that, and I believe it, when you become an owner, you become a better citizen.
Yeah.
You know, and you hear me say this all the time, Rick. As a citizen, you have the right to own a piece of the country that you're a citizen of.
Yes.
It's a right. It's an inalienable right that a lot of us in our community are not exercising, right? We talk about voting, get out to vote, get out to vote, get out to vote. This is what the legislators know, Rick. The legislators know that the people that have a better chance of voting, not regardless of who they're going to vote for, the people that have a better chance of voting, period, are homeowners.
Yes.
So if that's the case, when they start crafting their laws,
yes,
who do you think they're taking into consideration?
And who will be benefited? Right, absolutely.
Yes, homeowners. That's another reason why you want to get on the other side, right? Because the government, think about the tax code and who's it geared towards benefiting. It's not geared towards benefiting renters. It's geared towards benefiting homeowners. That's why owning something is so much, it does so much more for your quality of life, because that's the way that it's set up to do. Why you want to get on the other side? Like when you want to expose to your children the pride that comes with owning. You want them to fashion that into their minds and their expectations. They do better in school. They have better character. They behave different. It's just the reality of it all. And now there are many things in our marketplace, and there's many people like myself and you and the other individuals that are part of Brooks and Davis that have the knowledge base. They have the relationships and the connections. They have the resources to get you into a home.
Yes.
You just got to be willing to walk through the door.
Absolutely. Look, as we said, man, there's so many great programs that can provide all the assistance and create all the opportunity, regardless of what position you think you're in. Reach out to someone like myself, reach out to someone like Coach Mike, schedule your buyer consultation, and let's truly see what's out there that you could benefit from. Let's leave no stone unturned, and let's take advantage of all those opportunities. So, Coach Mike, I agree totally, man. I hope everyone in the audience is taking notes, saving this episode and sharing it with all their friends and family who are renting, because in 2024, we want everyone that's ready, willing, and able to be able to invest in their own home and invest in the state of Texas, man. So I'm with you all day, Coach Mike. I'm with you all day. Man, look, for this to be the first episode of a new season, man, you didn't come out, man, guns are blazing. I'm really curious to see what we have as far as our third question, because our audience members, man, they've been outdoing themselves tonight. So let's see what we got as far as question number 3 for Coach Mike. Let's see, we got our third question. Here it is, Coach. Coach Mike, can I sell my home before foreclosure if the HOA places a lien on the property and use the proceeds to settle the lien?
Interesting.
Very interesting question.
So, here's the short answer, right? Because I know we're running a little behind on time, so I got to give them a short answer. Maybe we can have this be a continuation for next week.
Right.
The short answer is this: you can sell your home before foreclosure. Okay. Now, here's the challenge that some people run into. The house may not be in a position, or they may be in a position to where they're upside down. And what that means is that the house is worth less than the amount of liens that you have to satisfy upon sale. For example, you have $200,000 worth of liens against the property because the liens got to get paid off with whatever proceeds. You got $200,000 worth of liens, but the house is only worth, meaning when you put it on the market, you can only sell it for $150,000.
Wow.
So now you got a gap. All right. Well, when you run into a situation like that, Rick, even if you do sell it, you're not going to be able to sell it, because if you do sell it, you're going to have to be on the hook. You're going to have to go to the closing table with that additional $50,000 to satisfy all those liens before it's transferred. So, we'll go into more depth next, our next episode for Monday Night Live. Maybe we can have a continuation of it. But that's the short answer, Rick.
Hey, look, Coach Mike, that was a really nuanced question. Mm-hmm. And it's almost individual, custom to that particular homeowner. But I do feel like that's a very important question. And like you said, Coach Mike, on a future episode, we may revisit that question so that you can answer it more in depth. I do appreciate all the members of our community that submitted questions this week, man. And as we do every week on Monday Night Live, I want to give Coach Mike an opportunity to share with everyone in the audience what's upcoming this week at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, what type of activities we have planned, and what they can expect on BND TV this week. So, Coach Mike, could you just share a little bit about this week's comings and goings with our audience?
Absolutely, Rick. I would love to. So, we do have for BND TV, we do have the Real to Life podcast. So that's going to be on Tuesday. We have a very special guest, Mr. Mr. Shad Bogany, a profound member within our real estate community. So he's going to be on tomorrow, Tuesdays at 12:30. He's going to be talking about, all of what we're hearing as it relates to the commissions and the settlements. So he's going to be speaking about that. And he's really going to be talking about the value of a real estate professional. So I encourage you all to get in the audience, right? Participate. We're going to be going live on Facebook and our YouTube channel. Then at 2:30, Realtor Happy Hour Live back in effect. Right. So we're super excited about that on Tuesday. Tomorrow at 2:30, we're going to be doing that, bringing the gang back together. And we have a phenomenal topic that we're going to be talking about as it has to deal with AI, right? You know, everybody's talking about AI. Right. So we want to talk about how we can better utilize it and some of the ramifications around it. So we're super excited about that. So that's Tuesday at 2:30. We're going to be doing that. And then, Rick, you know, you guys have the Prime Real Estate Network on Thursday. So you want to tell me a little bit about you all's guests?
Hey, man, look, I want to invite everyone in the Monday Night Live audience to check out myself and the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, this Thursday as we produce and stream the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. If you haven't had a chance to check us out, man, I invite you to do so. We have some of the best and brightest real estate professionals, those that are business owners, entrepreneurs. And what we try to do is give everyone in the audience some tidbits, some advice, and some best practices from some of the most successful and experienced entrepreneurs and business owners, because we want to make sure that all of the resources that we use in our businesses at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, we want to make sure we are an open book and provide our audience with all the most reputable, dependable, educated, and experienced real estate professionals out there in the state of Texas, and especially here in the city of Houston. So if you haven't checked us out before, man, I invite you to do so. We pride ourselves on having a really entertaining show on Thursdays and only having the best and the brightest sit in with us, man. So Thursday, high noon Central Time, Prime Real Estate Network podcast on YouTube. Just put Prime Real Estate Network in the search bar, man. Thanks, Coach Mike.
Absolutely. And before we go, Rick, man, I want to introduce an amazing new membership that we're launching. It's actually kind of like a soft relaunch. We were doing it. We had some renditions of it, but now, you know, over the end of 2023, we really sat down and thought through it, and we were trying to identify how can we create something? How can we create a true community, right? Not saying, oh, well, you need to become an agent with Brooks and Davis. You need to sign up. Not hard selling people to join our brokerage firm. Just saying, hey, we want to create a community that can change the world, a community of world-changing professionals. So that's what we did, man. We created a free membership, Rick, and it's completely designed to enhance a person's real estate journey, whether they're licensed or whether they're not licensed, right? We wanted to create a supportive family where inside of that family, you grow, you innovate, and you be recognized on what you do as a professional. A community that embraces diversity, right? It reshapes real estate with impactful solutions for all communities, right? A think tank, a brain trust, the kind of brain trust that you can work within and truly make a difference, where you engage in local initiatives for a brighter future. And a big one right here, man, elevate your education. Yes. You know, there's so many, as Rick already talked to you, that we're so into this education piece that it's not just for those who are Brooks and Davis agents. We want it for all, education for all, education that transcends transactions, beyond transactions, right? It's about preparing you for success. If you're in the process of getting your real estate license or, you know, preparing for the exam, it's the kind of education, elevated education that includes helping you be successful in passing that real estate exam, right? And then finally, we wanted to, you know, when it comes to accessibility, something else that I talked about earlier, Rick, you know, 20 years. Well, you want to have accessibility to not just an individual, but to a community of people that have that heart to collaborate, that have this community with that speaks real estate, a career that you're looking to be a part, that you may be a part of, or you're looking to become a part of. And again, no cost, right? The only cost is your time. The rest is on the house. It's all about wanting to be able to soar. So this is what we've created, Rick, right? And it's a couple of ways that you could be connected to, you know, those just a couple of the benefits, but obviously there's a laundry list of features that are within this community, right? If you have a real estate license, well, the way that you can connect to this community is by learning and going to our World Changers community webpage, right? We're gonna put that website up here on the screen real soon, but you'll be able to go to the World Changers community webpage, and you'll be able to not only learn more about everything that I've just talked to you about, but you'll also be able to join. You'll see the benefits. It'll go into more detail about the benefits. It'll go into more detail about the features. It'll talk about what the next steps are once you do join. It's a simple process. All you got to do is go there, fill out the information. That's if you're licensed. But if you're not licensed, right? If you're in the process of thinking about getting into real estate, or you're in the process of going through it, maybe you've taken one class or 3 classes or 6 classes, or maybe you've taken all of them and you just need to pass the exam. Well, you too can be a part of the community. And like I said, inside of that community, we're about elevating education. So there is a component that helps individuals when it comes to navigating through the real estate classes, when it comes to preparing for the real estate exam. But the reality is just being a part where people can collaborate together in a real estate space, but also put you in a position to help you achieve the goals that you want. If that's you, all you got to do is go to the website that's on the screen. Again, you'll see more about the features, more about the benefits, talk more about what happens next once you sign up, fill out the information, join the community, right? Become a part of it. I mean, Rick, I'm so excited to be able to reach out to people today and just let them know about this incredible opportunity that I truly believe aligns perfectly with their interests and their goals, especially if it has to do with this career that I said earlier, I feel is the best career that anybody could be in, and that's a career in real estate. So we're doing everything that we can at Brooks and Davis. I'm doing everything that I can as at CEO Coach Mike to just really foster a level of collaboration, a level of community, diversity, education, to bring all that together, man, because we believe that that's just going to enhance the career and the people that's a part of it, man. So go check those websites out now. If you're licensed, go learn about the World Changers community. If you're not licensed, go learn about the real estate student affiliate membership. Both of them will connect you into this group that I've explained earlier today.
Hey, look, I invite everyone in the audience to take Coach Mike up on that invitation, because professionally, there's nothing like being around like-minded individuals where each one can teach one. There's a spirit of collaboration where there's an exchange of best practices, where your creative questions can be answered. You can bounce things off of each other, and you can start taking your passion for real estate and sharing it with other passionate real estate professionals so that we can work through all the same challenges and inspire and motivate each other to get out here and do everything we can to best serve the community. So once again, Coach Mike, everyone in the audience appreciates your invitation. And I hope everyone who hears this interview or sees this particular episode takes you up on that offer.
Absolutely, Rick. All right. And then one last thing, and then I'm gonna let you close this out. Right. We created a channel, another channel on YouTube. It's powered by Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. It's called the Houston Real Estate Channel. We're showcasing all of the neighborhoods in the city, right? So if you're thinking about relocating to the city or even relocating within the city, well, we've created a resource now where you can go learn the history, the resources, about the schools, about the home purchasing opportunities. We've done all that. So we encourage if anybody wants to know about anything Houston real estate, all Houston real estate. I mean, we're talking about Katy, Shadow Creek Ranch, Pomona, Bridgeland, wherever, right? And we got a lot more coming. We're going to fill this thing up. Hundreds of videos we're going to make as it relates to the different subdivisions and the neighborhoods in the city of Houston. You're going to have everything that you need to know, because just like I think real estate is the best career, I think the Houston Metroplex is the best place to live. So I encourage you all, go to the Houston Real Estate Channel on YouTube, check it out, learn more about the city. If you're thinking about relocating, reach out to us and we can help you out. So I want to say that that's something new for 2024 too, Rick, that we're super excited about.
No, absolutely. And for those that currently live outside of the state of Texas, but moving to the city of Houston is something that you have on your list of things to accomplish in 2024 or beyond, you can familiarize yourself with some of the more popular areas in the city of Houston by going to this new channel and have a working idea of what area of town would best benefit you and which area of town your family would most enjoy. So I appreciate you, Coach Mike, and everybody at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm for putting that information together in a way where we can present it to the public. And I want to invite everyone in the audience to take advantage of that opportunity to learn more about these pockets of the city of Houston, because I'm sure there's some communities not too far from where you may currently reside that may have some aspects or some things about it that you might not have known that you and your family could definitely benefit from.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, man, Coach Mike, this has been a great episode, man. It's great to be back here for the new season. I want to thank everyone in the audience for checking us out. I want to thank our super producer, Jay Joseph, man, for helping to bring this show to life, man. So there, in closing, Coach Mike, any final words you'd like to share with the audience before we sign out this week, sir?
Hey, man, I'm super excited to be in 2024, man. And look, this ain't got nothing to do. You know how some people, man, they be running out of 2023. Like, they be like, oh, my 2023 was so bad, I can't wait. Listen, like I told them, Rick, if you taking the same person over to 2024, you're going to get the same results, right? I wasn't running out of 2023. We had a great 2023, right? So I'm just super excited about the opportunities that exist in this new year. And that's how it should be. Okay? Take the right energy into the new year, man. And let's do something big. Let's do something big together.
Hey, look, I agree totally, Coach Mike, and I'm with you all the way, man. Thanks a lot, sir. I can't wait till our next show. Everyone in the audience, man, set your reminders. Monday Night Live every other Monday at this same time. On behalf of myself, Rick Davis, and CEO Coach Mike, Mr. Michael G. Davis, we want to thank everyone in the community for hanging out with us tonight. We want to thank everybody in the audience for interacting and submitting their questions in the comments section. Until the next Monday Night Live Real Estate Show with Coach Mike, everyone in the audience, please be safe and be blessed.